We turn overseas now, where the U.S. and Iran are set to hold nuclear negotiations tomorrow in Oman. President Trump said yesterday that Iran's supreme leader should, quote, be very worried. CBS News national security contributor Joe Zacks joins me now here at the family table, former Deputy Assistant Director of the CIA. Joe, it's great to have you here. Thanks for being here. As I understand it, you believe that this is, right now, a historical and potentially pivotal moment for U.S. policy toward Iran. Why?
I think that's exactly right, Major, and thank you for having me on the show this afternoon. It is a historical moment because the Iranian regime is at its weakest point since the revolution in 1979. And this regime that has been responsible for the murder of over 1,000 U.S. citizens is currently in virtually survival mode. They had to repress the demonstrators a few weeks ago by slaughtering them. Reports are between 10 to 40,000, maybe even higher number of demonstrators. A staggering number, and very tragic for the Iranian people. I think that now the president, our president, has the upper hand, and we will see how this plays out, either through negotiations or military action.
And when you say weakness, you mean weakness not only in terms of political turmoil on the streets that they have to repress violently, a weakened economies, very weak by historical standards, and their proxies around the region weaker than they've ever been before.
That's exactly right. I think since October 7th, when Hamas attacked Israel, Israel has methodically weakened the Iranian proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. The Houthis, we also had a very important role in degrading their capabilities. And one cannot discount the effect that the 12th Day War in June took on the Iranian regime, as well as on its nuclear program.
Al Jazeera reports, and there are a lot of interlocutors in the region. That's a fancy diplomatic term. That means other countries who are interested. The Turkey, Qatar, and Egypt, probably in coordination with the United States, have put together something approximating a framework. This is not a deal, but it's some of the stipulated points. Iran would agree to commit to zero uranium enrichment for 3 years, then very low levels after that. Stockpile of highly enriched uranium, which is precursor to a nuclear weapon, transferred to a third country. That's a pretty standard ask. Iran agrees not to transfer weapons and technologies to its proxies in the region. Iran pledges not to initiate the use of ballistic missiles, though they were moving some into theater just today, according to reports. And there's a U.S.-Iran non-aggression agreement. Does any of that sound within the ballpark? And how do you think, if this is real, it might be received?
Well, I think it's a start, and certainly diplomatic resolution would be preferable to military action. But I think one has to be very careful in taking the Iranians at face value.
Even if they agree to some of these things.
Even if they agree to some of these things, which I think it will be hard for them to do. I think it's not in the Supreme Leader's DNA to agree to these kind of terms. And I think that President Trump sees an opportunity, perhaps, for maximalist terms and for maximum pressure on them. We are in a very strong position as the United States, and it's time to, in my opinion, for us to take firm action with respect to this Iranian regime.
If there's military action initiated by the United States that could topple the regime, but with lots of unknown consequences.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think you'll have opportunities, but there are tremendous risks. On the risk side, the question is who takes over? And there's a good bit of uncertainty with respect to that. One scenario could be that the IRGC, the Praetorian Guard, decides to eliminate the regime in terms of the theocracy, the supreme leader and the mullahs around him, in order to preserve their own economic hold and their own power in the country. They could promise the populace some form of elections down the road and renege on that. Another possibility would be the Crown Prince, the Shah's son, Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. What I find is intriguing about him is that he has a plan. He has a 100-day plan, a transformational plan that includes both an economic component, transition to democracy, and a technocratic plan on how to fix some of the significant problems. The question is, what support does he have in the country? And
who would be there to stay to continue that support and not have him face some? I got to go. We're up against the break, but I appreciate it. Joe Zacks will have you back.
Thank you.
Lots of conversations ahead, I promise you.